Hello and welcome to Clovers Quilting. My name is Diahn. I want to work on this Grinch quilt kit today. It is about 5 days from Thanksgiving, and I wanted to give this to Ray's dad on Thanksgiving. So, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but I wanted to make it for him so he could enjoy during the Christmas season, and so I didn't want to give it to him for Christmas. So I was in Bismarck, North Dakota. I talked about this on one of my last videos, and this is, I assume this is a free pattern from Robert Kaufman, and it's called Christmas Mischief, and it's for this Grinch panel. And it doesn't look too tough. It's mostly panels with a little bit of sashing and some borders. So I am ready to roll on it. And here you'll probably see Poe's tail. Nope, it's too low. He came up to visit. So here is what came in the kit. We've got the Grinch panel and then a bunch of other little fabrics. So I am gonna get these all pressed up, and there's his tail. I'm gonna get these all pressed up and ready to roll. And then I also bought this Merry Grinchmas for the background and a couple of panels that I wanted to make a couple of little pillows with. The Grinch is my spirit animal, and just a Merry Christmas with the Grinch hand. And these two little panels I got at a website called ineedfabric.com, and it is like a print-on-demand place. And when I found it, I was blown away because I hadn't seen the bulk of those fabrics ever before. But they must do their own designs and then do this printing for you when you order. And these, I think they had panels ranging from like 4.5 inches up to like 36 inches. So you just tell them what size you want this and they'll get it to you. It's really fun. So it's ineedfabric.com, and panels all over the place, all different sizes. And that's the same one I have on my door, my front door, that says, it has a sewing machine, and it says, oh, what does it say? It started out as a hobby. Who knew it would come to this? So it cracked me up. I think it was a 24 square panel on that. So I just thought it was hilarious. I had to have it. So I'm gonna get to working on, hey, looks like I'm the Grinch head. That's hilarious. So anyway, I'm not really Grinchy. I love Christmas, but hey, looks like I got a little body here. It's kind of funny. So I'm gonna work on these, and I will meet you back here in just a minute. As I started looking at this, I guess it's 2 panels, so that's really kind of cool. We have all the Grinch little heads. So we have those, and then another panel is just the big bad guy. So there he is. So I'm gonna get these 2 panels pressed up and sliced to where they're supposed to be, and I'll be back. Okay, everybody, I am on my new ironing surface, and Poe thinks he's gonna help. So you come over here and sit over here. Come on. Okay, not on the Grinch. Down he goes. Yeah, you're silly. So this has been in this bag probably for years. So I am going to give it a good shot of best press, and then I'm going to see if I can get some of these creases out. So get this ironed up so it's nice and flat, and hopefully the edges will be a little bit straight. You know how I am with these panels. I get a little nervous that that they're not going to be square, or I'm not going to be able to cut them right. So I am just going to work on getting this smoothed out. And I left a little room between my table and the wall, so I could just drop that back there. Maybe if I can get coordinated, so I could have a little bit of area to flop that behind. So I'm gonna get this going. That looks like a heck of a crease, doesn't it? So let's see what we're doing on this bad boy. And if I can get this kind of straight and see what we're doing here. I might see if I can get some of these cute, it says Grinch, Grinch, Grinch on it. I might see if I can get some of those cute little pieces worked into the back. So that would be kind of fun. Onto the backing. Now let's just, he looks pretty good. I'm gonna just set him aside here. And we'll work on this one. How many little, oh, this has Merry Grinchmas on top, so cute. So it's got another cute little doodad on it. And let's see what we can do about getting this ironed up. I say ironing, but you know I mean press, right? We don't want to distort and do all that stuff. So I'm just running. I do swish from side to side, which I have very light pressure, so I'm trying not to pull or distort. So I hope you guys are understanding that I'm really not ironing and pushing and distorting. I'm just pressing very lightly. I have a very light hand and got a little bit of best press there that'll dry up. And he's looking pretty cute. And we have 6 of these panels, 6 of these little frames of his little noggin. And kind of press it out with your hand, flip that back, and see what we can do for this bottom half. Oh, and the bottom half of this one is ornaments that say Grinch, and it's got his little face in it. So it's kind of cute. I would like to incorporate all those fun little elements into the back. So we'll see if we can get that working out. And I better get busy on this thing. I'm running late like usual. So I'm gonna set this one here. And let's take a look at the other fabrics we have. I have this really cool swivel light right here. Whoop, can't see it. And it swivels back and forth, up and down, and it just clamps to my table. So it works, it's been working out really nice, and it throws a good light. And I also have my window here, which works out really good. So I believe this part is for the sashing. Now I'm going to line up how I always like to line up my selvages first, because we're probably going to have to cut long strips. So line up my selvages, get them pretty straight, and smooth it all out. Because if you have to cut a strip and you're needing a long strip, you don't want it to have a kink in it. So that's how I line it up, and it's been working really, really well for me. And this looks like it's cut pretty straight anyway, so that's pretty cool. So whoops, there goes Poe. So I just start by just pushing it towards the, start with the selvage and just work my way across. Oh, there's a seam ripper on the floor. I found those Clover seam rippers that Ray bought me for my birthday. Well, I found one downstairs. I live downstairs. Found one downstairs because Poe decided he wanted to seam rip. So I found it in the hall downstairs. And I just thought, what in the world? He must have liked that crinkly package that I haven't taken it out of yet. So yeah, he thought that was pretty fun. That's a fun little toy. So I put it up so he doesn't need to get hurt with one of those. But he's a pretty busy little boy, let me tell you. Are you watching, Poe? Yeah, you're watching? Then I'm going to just press a line back here on the very edge, just so I can put that straight edge on my cutting mat, and I'll have a nice straight edge to cut from. And then we have, excuse me, three other pieces that look kind of fun. And I think these, well, let's just take a peek. I thought these, oh, okay. These border, this green borders this one, and the big panel. The dark green borders this one, and the red borders these two. So we have a little variety going on. Pretty fun. So I'm gonna get these all pressed up, and I'll meet you back at the cutting table. See. Okay guys, I am at the cutting table, and my room is a disaster. I had Ray, he must have hauled up, well, 2 huge garbage bags, 33-gallon garbage bags full of polar fleece, batting, what is that other thing? Polyfill, and pillow forms. I had 2 other bags full of other stuff, and he hauled up 2 cartloads of stuff and another sewing machine. There's my other, where is it? Sewing machine. Can you see it? There, another sewing machine. Yeah. So anyway, that, I think I've got everything or almost everything up to this room. And my cleaning just turned into it's a disaster. So anyway, I'm just trying to work around all my stuff because it is a mess. So I'm not really sure what I'm doing on this, but I'm going to just cut along. I'm going to just kind of give this a little pull so it matches my ruler, and I'm going to cut off the bulk of this extra. And then I'm going to start shimming it down to the size it tells me. Okay. So, well, kind of. I don't know why I can't push hard enough. And this was off the board, so I'm just gonna give that just a little trim. I could have probably did it with the scissor, but this I'm gonna try to put somewhere on the back of the quilt. Just something kind of cute. Shut my rotary cutter. And I'm gonna do the same on this bottom. Oh, the cats are running around and playing. I don't know if they're playing, but they're doing something. I think Poe thinks he's playing, but Chrome doesn't think that's very fun. So they're running into stuff and knocking stuff over. Oh boy, it's a mess in my house. So I'm gonna just line this bad boy up. Just give this a little, because we know the ruler's straight. So I'm just gonna kind of line it up on that green line and see what I can do. And I didn't get all the way to the edge again. What the heck? I'm not a very good cutter. And then I'm gonna just, oh, they're running through the house. They're goofy cats. Okay, then I'm just going to line it up with the cut part and finish her off. There's another little Grinch panel or little cute thing to put on the back, hopefully. Okay, I'm going to keep trimming this bad boy up to the right size, and I'm going to do these other little panels over here, and I'll be back. Okay, guys, this is not easy, and I stress about panels, and I think I just freaked myself out. So, of course, I cut the big panel, and guess what? Cut it a 1/2 inch too small. So, I'm going to have to do a little calculating on the border and make that work. But I had to tell you because it's not fair if my quilt looks great and I tell you there was no problems, because there's a problem. I cut it weird. So, I am cutting these little bad boys out now. Let's see, I'm going to put this down a little bit more so you can see. And what I'm doing is to keep most of the Grinch face, my initial cut is going to be 1/4 inch from his chin. So I'm doing 1/4 inch onto the red, just because I don't want that 1/4 inch stitched onto his chin. I want as much of his face as I can keep. So that'll be my seam line, which should be fine. Now, I don't know why it is so hard for me. It is just really hard. And then the squares need to be 10.5 inches. So here's 10, here's 20.5. So I'm just going to kind of split the difference. I was doing a quarter of an inch in, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to try it this way. Looks like it's lined up, so I'm going to do, excuse me, to do 20.5. And it looks like my block is a little crooky. So see, this is just, I'm not loving it. I'm really not loving it, but I'm going to try it. So there's my 1/2 inch. Get that out of there. Flip this around. So hopefully I can just measure from the 10 to the 20.5. Get it a little more square. I'm hoping this works. I've done 2 and it wasn't fun. So I freak out about this because, you know, the panels are never perfect. So if I do 20.5, hey, oh, we're not straight over here. Okay, looks like it's pretty good. So if I do 20.5, that has a little bit of red that still shows, which will be caught in the seam allowance, be fine. And then I'm going to just line this up on this one and 20.5. And I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that this works. Keep your fingers crossed for me, guys, because, you know, it's not fun when it doesn't work. So there's one of my little dudes, and I have these other 2 done, and so only 3 more to go. I better go have lunch. This has been stressful. So anyway, I freak out about stupid things, so I just, well, you know, do you guys ever want to do everything perfect? And, you know, nobody's perfect. So you just kind of, you do your best and you wing it. So I'm going to wing it a little bit. So I'm going to cut these other 3, and then the rest of I probably won't cut the border that goes around the big panel yet, because I cut the panel too small. So I'm going to have to do some adjusting on that border. So keep your fingers crossed I have enough fabric, and I will be back when I figure out what I'm doing. Okay, thank you guys so much for coming along. Okay, guys, I'm getting ready to cut fabric C, which is this speckly, this little green stars on white. It's super cute. And it needs to be cut into 2.5 inch strips. So I folded my fabric. Again, it's in half, and then I folded it again so I could use the Stripology ruler. So I'm going to slide this over just because, I don't know, I think I've got to push with every ounce of my being. So I've lined up the fold on the 1 right here. It's a really thin line, so it's really easy to tell if you're lined up. So it looks pretty darn good. And I'm going to just cut in this 0 slot. And I'm going to just go through one more time. Hey, that felt pretty good. And then I'm going to just pick this out of here. And I like to double check that I don't have any elbows. See, there's where it was folded. I think that looks pretty good. And here's where it was folded. Oh, down here's where it was folded. And I think that looks pretty good too. So I don't think I have any elbows. Yay! I mean, just these 2. And so that's what we want. And then these are 2.5 inches wide. So on the Stripology ruler, the 2.5 inch, let's see if you can see this. On the Stripology ruler, the 2.5 inch cuts, you do the 0, and every box is 2.5 inches. So that's, my hand's in the way. So that makes it really easy. So I need 8 of those. So we did the 0 mark. We're gonna do this box here. And then on the 5. And on the 7, you don't even have to, or 7.5, you don't even have to think. You just look for the little box down there. 10. Now, how many do I need? 10, 12.5. I'm too busy talking, forgot how many. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I need 8. And then 15. Then I'll move that out of the way a little bit. The 17.5. Oh, that sounded like it cut nothing. Let's do one more time. And then let's do the 20. So let's see if I actually got these bad boys cut and it worked decent. So keep your fingers crossed. Here we go. You take that off and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Beautiful. That is how that bad boy works. And I've had it for several years and I've just not utilized it as much as I think I should. So I'm going to start using that because it is slick. So I just wanted to show you how to do 2.5-inch strips with the Stripology ruler. And this one's the Stripology Extra Large XL. And Ray bought me, let's see if I can, I don't know where it's at. Oh, it's right here. He bought me, oh, something else fell down. Imagine that. He bought me this one, which is the Stripology Squared Mini. And I just wanted it to do, these are GE Designs, does these, Gudrun Erla, I believe is her last name. I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong, but she does a ton of little patterns. And some of her little table runners, excuse me, I thought would be easier to use this little guy. They're not cheap, but they are slick. So, and it's got, you know, like 2-inch square, 3-inch square, 4-inch square. So you can do square ups, and she has videos with all kinds of helpful hints. Not sponsored, but very, very fun. And I wanted to show you how to use these Stripology rulers. This one will be in a future video, I hope. I want to do one of, I've got several of her little tabletopper patterns that I think I can use this one. So it'll be really, really fun. So I'll be back when I have everything cut. This time, for sure, we're going to be at the sewing machine. See ya. Everybody, I'm about ready to start sewing. I have got the two little panels matched up with their right color. We have the light green, 2 panels with the dark green, and 2 panels with the red. So those are ready to go. And I'm going to start with, Chrome's knocking down the camera. Not Chrome, Poe. I'm blaming Chrome. Okay, Poe, be good. So I have got the main panel and I've gone ahead and pinned this long strip on there. So keep your fingers crossed that I've compensated. This is the right size strip for the side, and I've cut a 1/2 inch bigger for the top and the bottom. So hopefully nobody will notice that it's a little different, and it's like creative license, isn't it? So I'm going to do this side here, and I've got my leader started, and I'm just going to go ahead and get my pins over here. Whoa, they want to slide off. And guys, don't yell. I sometimes sew over my pins. They are super, super, super thin. They're these little, oh, what are they called? They're super fine pins from Clover, I believe. And I love them. They're super sharp and thin. And when you're trying to get your fabric together, they don't move your fabric. They just go right through and keep everything where it's supposed to go. And sometimes I just sew right over them. And I know that's a big controversy, and I probably shouldn't, but I usually slow down if I get lazy and not pull the pins. I usually slow down and then just go over it. And if the needle happens to hit the pin, if I'm going slow, it just kind of slides off. So I maybe don't recommend that, but hey, you know, sometimes I get kind of lazy. And I have not, knock on wood, had any trouble with it, breaking a needle. I have never broken a needle with these pins. And that is really, really nice. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm not even looking in the camera. So I'm going along this whole edge, and I'm going to pull that. Going along this whole edge and just kind of scooching that fabric over when it needs to be. And just giving it a little scratch to get it in place. And we're almost done with, now the cat wants to jump on my chair. Oh, he's wild today. Aren't you, Poe? You're wild, man. And you don't need to come up here. Well, he's coming up. He's coming up the back of the chair. How do you discipline these children? I don't have any of my own kids, so I'm, you know, it's like just cats. Okay, you don't need to be up there. Get down. Oh, he's being a pest today. I even brought him up some toys so he'd have things to play with besides my cords on my camera and everything else. Anyway, we're almost done with this. So I've got my little tiny cutting mat. I'm just gonna cut that. I've got my little bitty, well, it's not little bitty, it's this Omni Grid, and it's, let's scoot this out of the way so you can see it. And it's got cutting on one side and pressing on one side. I love this thing. I took it to a class one time and my friend said, "Where'd you get that? I have to have one." So she was bummed that she didn't know about this, but she got one immediately thereafter. So it's pretty good size. What is it, 12? 12 by 18. So that's a pretty decent size cutting and trimming. And it just folds up with a little Velcro, and it's got a handle, and there you go. You just pack that bad boy where you need it. And when you're not using it, it just slides out of the way super, super quick. So there's this one side. I'm going to cut this edge off. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Well, if I can get my leader off. And I'm going to press to this strip. So I'm going to finger press first, and let's see if you can see that. I just put the side up I want it to go to, and when you fold it, it naturally falls underneath where you want it. So I am just going to buzz down this side, and there are all kinds of tools to use. There's rollers, there's wooden sticks, but you know, I kind of like using just my finger and fingernail because I can feel where that seam allowance is. And if it flips, oh, he's crawling all over stuff, that cat. If it flips, you can feel it. And I'm going to get these little strings off of here. So there we go. So I'm going to do the same exact thing to the other side. Trim off both these edges, and then hopefully that little bigger top and bottom, I just made it a 1/2 inch bigger. So I'm hoping that'll compensate for the for the 1/2 inch that I screwed up on cutting. So I will be back in a little bit when I get some more done. Okay guys, I got all these little dudes framed in their colors, and 4 go on the side and 2 go on the bottom, and I have them all sorted. So these 4 are going to go down the side and these 2 across the bottom. And I cut my 11.5 inch strips to go on the sashing strips to go between these, and I'll be right back when I get those put on. I have the Grinch fabric panel and the 2 little guys on the bottom all bordered and the outside border done. And over here is the long one with the 4 little dudes all bordered. And now I'm going to put them together and do a top and bottom border of this star fabric, and then do a border all the way around of the Merry Grinchmas fabric. So, yay! Oh, and there's Ray. Hi, Ray. Oh, he loves to be on camera. Anyway, so he's down here telling me what to do and guiding me through all this. What do you guys think? I don't think so. Okay, I'll be back in a few. As you can see, I finished the Grinch quilt behind me. It's complete with the backing and a binding. Yay! I had so much fun with this quilt. It went together really fast. It came as a kit, and it was 2 panels. One panel was all the little dudes' heads, and one panel was this big guy. And there were a couple of different extra pieces on the panel that I incorporated into the back, along with 2 little pieces I bought to make 2 little pillows. I thought, I'm just gonna stick them on the back, and it turned out pretty cute. So let me get out of the way and I'll let you take a closer peek. Here is a little closer peek at the Grinch quilt top. I did it just like the kit said and the pattern. And I wasn't exactly sure how to quilt it, so I did some straight line quilting. And then I just threw in a couple of ties. I put like a tie on the middle of his red hat. I gave him a little green tie on his little green hair. And I think it turned out pretty cute. It was fun. And I did some ties around all the green on the background. And I did a few ties on these baubles, if you can see them. Like this yellow one here, there's a little tie. I just kind of mix it up, but there's a blue, a yellow, a white, I think, did I do red on there? Maybe there's a red. Yeah, so it's pretty fun. And his little feet. So he's pretty darn cute. And I just really enjoyed this quilt. I always get nervous when it comes to the quilting part since I don't have a long arm and I am not super proficient in this. So I just do the best I can, and it'll still keep somebody warm and it'll be cuddly and fun. I'll be right back with the back that I pieced. Here is the back of the quilt. And I purchased this Merry Grinchmas fabric, I think at Hobby Lobby. And of course I thought, oh, I'll just fill the back in with that. Well, I didn't have enough. I got a little bit on the top and a little bit on the bottom. And then I did these, okay, these 4 skinny pieces were on the top and the bottom of the panel, those 4 skinny pieces. And then these 2 little, I don't know, 8-inch squares probably. I don't think they're 10-inch, 8-inch squares or so. I bought those at ineedfabric.com, and they're just print on demand, and I just thought that was really funny. The Grinch is my spirit animal, and the little Grinch hand. And I thought that would make a really fun couple of pillows, and I thought I'll just incorporate them into the back instead, and I think it turned out fun. I did add this kind of bubble looking fabric. It is from QT Fabrics, and I just got that at my local quilt shop. The day I finished the back, I thought, holy smokes, I'm short on fabric. Does that ever happen to you guys? You buy a quilt years ago and then you think you have enough and you just don't, so you improvise. So hey, you just have to be creative. Thank you so much for coming along on this Grinch quilt journey with me today. It was super fun. I was a little bit past my deadline of Thanksgiving, but I'm still before Christmas, so hopefully Marvin, Ray's dad, can enjoy his new quilt before Christmas and into the new year. You don't ever have to put it away. It's fun. You can use it anytime. Please consider subscribing, liking, sharing with a friend. Drop me a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say, what you'd like to see. If you have any questions, concerns, if you've done this quilt, throw one on there. I'd love to see it. Just drop me a line, put a picture on there. Just anything you do helps my channel out. I love the comments. I love the responses. Thank you for the thumbs up. All that interaction helps my channel grow, and I thank you so, so very much. Please stay happy, stay healthy, and stay creative. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.